Okay, chat. So I say chat. I'm not live yet. I've got 48 minutes before I have to go live, so we're going to try and speed run this as fast as possible. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening right quick. We got an 18 mark that we have on the 3 mark here. And on the 8 we have here. If I had been looking at this, I would have done something along the lines of this right here. This was our highest point outside of market open, and this was our lowest point even on Asian session. This was our price range to stick between. We would have waited for price to hit a certain point. Looks like it did the exact same thing that happened yesterday. We had an opportunity we could have taken. I chose to stay asleep because again today was a red folder FOMC day and I did not want to mess with it, and it does not hit till 2, so we screwed up. We had an opportunity Wednesday to trade. We screwed up just a smidge by staying asleep. I screwed up. Big oof. Not going to hold it over my head. I am entirely aware of my own actions. I understand that sleep is important for all humans, not just me. We had this stuff happening. OPEC, JMMC meetings. All of the currencies had this going on. Not entirely sure what it meant. Bi-monthly, there's no real effect on the market. Okay. We had this right here. Actual gradient forecast good for currency. It was the exact same, so no change in price action. And then at 2, the red folder of FOMC would come around. It has not hit 2 yet. We're not streaming yet. It is 1:24 p.m. in the afternoon. From here, what would I have done? Had I woke up in time to take this trade, I'd have looked, watched, and seen, right? I'd have understood that one, we have a fair value gap here that said price is going to continue higher, but it's also an imbalance, right? On a higher time frame, I imagine this looks like a fair value gap. See? It does not. In fact, there is no fair value gap over here. Instead, there's a fair value gap right here, and price is drawn to it. We respected the high time frame fair value gap up to this point. We're back down in a retrace. What about the daily? Nope. Daily's 1. We have fair value gap right there on another. So it would have been pretty hard for me to depict what exactly was going to happen outside of the norm. I imagine it would have been something along the lines of we have a high here, which is cool. We waited till 8 open, right, and closed. We see key level hit here. Move on to the 5-minute. Probably what would have happened, because right here is where it hit, right? Right here, we would have gone to the 5-minute. We would have looked for a break of structure. We'd have looked for a inverse fair value gap or an S&T divergence. We had boom, break of structure there. We also had an inverse fair value gap right here on the same candle. From this, we would have moved on into look for order block, breaker block, equilibrium, or again another fair value gap. We had a breaker block here, failed retrace on this uptrend, order block, boom, continued higher, boom. We also would have noted that this was a break of structure, I think. Yeah, it was a break of structure because we broke below this low, we closed below it. So I think per the order block and the break of structure on this part right here, I'd have taken a note that we can use the move of an order block to look at several different factors. If the order block breaks structure off the previous low that was made, down, up, low, most previous low, right? Then we can safely guess that price is going to move back down in its downtrend. Cool. Realistically speaking, I probably would not have seen this. Instead, I would have treated this like it wasn't a breaker block because we did not reach as high as possible and we closed and did not close below the most recent low. until just about here. From that, we got our second push through key level. We got pretty high up there. We had one fair value gap, two fair value gap, but it wasn't until boom, this occurred. Let's take a step back because we're still in the 5 minute. This is a mistake of me to just fair value gap. Ooh, let's go ahead. Do. Problem. From this order block that we would have found, we would have needed to go to the 1 minute. Here is our retrace, breaker block, order block, sweep on second round. We'd have looked for an inverse fair value gap on the 1 minute. We got that here. We would have entered roughly in this on the first candle for the 5 minute, right? We also would have probably entered on this candle because one, up, down. Here's our high. It closed above it. Two, we have inverse fair value gap and break of structure on this candle. That was prime time to enter. We would have rode all the way up here. We'd have waited for a break of structure, which did not happen until roughly here. Problem. We would have made a little bit. We would have made, I'm going to say, roughly 200-ish. Just from this little bit right here. We probably would have done that. Probably. It would have been a mistake because if we had chose to do this, not only would we have potentially been stopped out because I would have wanted to place my low like roughly in here, and the spread would have more than likely come down and hit us from this candle specifically, this price action right here. But as we move up and then back down, we had a break of structure right here. And it's not until we get past this inverse fair value gap on the 1 minute that, oh, that's a problem because it's going to continue down. We have needed to bail first. And then from there, we'd have needed to come back in on another level to really catch this entire move down. FOMC days, specifically, are fake out sessions. We've learned this from previous videos. I should not be trading FOMC days. This is an FOMC day. Here at 2, it'll be an FOMC day. We don't want to really mess with those. I'm sorry for yesterday's 3-hour-long video. That was entirely my fault. I let it continue for far too long, and I regret it. I do. I had a crash out. Not gonna lie. I'm a bit sad. I wasn't discouraged. I wasn't really mad, actually. Realistically speaking. I understood very well that I could have lost that trade, and I did. Oh well. Oh well. Big oh no. Because we are in our last week for the month of May. And this month has been rough. So rough that this is our current. We want that number to be in the positive, and in the next 2 days, I don't think, I mean, maybe I'd have to risk double what I've been risking in order to get this to go positive the way I'm wanting it to. That's just the way it is. I don't know. We'll experiment tomorrow. What's tomorrow's news look like? We have tomorrow's news. We have right here all day. French and German bank holiday. USD double red folder 1 and double orange folder 2. 3 of these folders hit at 8:30, which automatically tells me price action is going to go crazy. The only thing that has changed is this orange folder because previous forecast has been the same on the red, and then down here has been the same on this orange. I was wrong a second ago. The red folder. The forecast was greater than the previous, so I'm expecting it to be higher. Just a little bit. Actual less than forecast is good for currency, so we're looking for price to go higher because if it's less in the green, that means price is going to go lower. Good for currency means down. But if it's red, price for currency goes up. It works. And then, of course, we have this one. This is the largest change, actually. greater than forecast is good for currency. That number has gone down tremendously. It went from 6.1 to negative 0.9. That's a leap. The biggest impact is going to be at 10, judging based off of this. These numbers up here, these two matter a lot. They do, but nowhere near as much as this number here and as much as this number here. Those two are going to be the biggest price action movers, period. They're just going to be. There's no really getting away from that. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day because we have that. Friday is going to be even more interesting because we have one red, one orange, which looks fine. It does. Until you look at core price index, CPI. CPI is a big no-no. Have it right here. CPI. Big no-no. Don't even touch it. We have double CPI, German and Spanish, right? Both of which are euros. Those will affect the euro currencies. Euro red CPI is going to be all day. This is going to be, I don't know. We'll look at 8:30, see what it does to price, and from there we'll make our best judgment off of it. With price action the way it is, I imagine it's not going to change a lot. Then again, I'm looking at this number here, 51.1 versus 50.8 in the past. If it's greater than forecast, it's good for currency, which means if this number goes up, price is going to go down. And I imagine it's the same thing for this. Greater than forecast, good for, yep. So if this increases at all, price is going to go down even further. Looks like tomorrow is an uptrend, and then Friday is going to be a downtrend. I think I did pretty good by breaking this down, like without looking too far ahead. Like I knew, yes, when we opened up the app, I saw this leg down thinking, okay, clearly it crashed, no biggie. I wanted to do this. I wanted to cut that off, and I wanted to, on the hour, identify everything. I wanted to get super good at it, too. I wanted to really dial in on this. I'm going to remove all 26 of my stupid drawings now because I feel as though they're not really worth it at the moment anymore. And I can only tell so much from this. This would have been a good trade day, kinda not. I would have needed to note that this was a break of structure, and from that, judged accordingly that price was going to go lower. And then from this fair value gap here, that yes, price might continue higher in the later days, though it did continue higher right here and ultimately it closed low. I could have I could have exited market on that candle. I could have exited on the break of structure. But ultimately, when it decided to break structure, I would have lost a little bit of the profit I would have had on the closure of that candle. That's just, yeah, that's just the way it is at the moment. Everything's saying it's in an uptrend for the performance. Like everything's up, which is good. We want it to go up. We want money to come in to us. Tomorrow is going to be an early day. I will be posting this a lot earlier than I have today in the past. I do not want to lose any more money, but at the same time, I feel as though it's necessary if I want to get good at day trading to not over risk, but add on the risk to further incentivize myself to get good at this. I'm playing the reverse psychology game on myself on that aspect. The goal is to become a good trader. I understand over-risking is a bad way of doing that, but, and this is the strongest but I can think of, I want to get good. I've spent the time to learn this, and I've had 2 months of solid profitability. It wasn't $10,000 in the green, but it was solid. I stayed green. So now my goal is simple. Get as green as possible. stay green. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it was a very short one. I know it was a speed run. I woke up incredibly late, almost an hour before we had to stream today. All of the stuff I just went over seemed fairly simple. I almost guarantee you, had I been in this live price action, I would have more than likely said, ooh, look, it hit our key level, and we would have called stuff early, and we probably would have messed up. I'm sorry, it was in this. It was in this, because we didn't see price hit key level until like roughly in this, and we had our high here and our low here. So, I did my best. I did. With identifying all of this. I probably would not have done my best had it been live, because not psychology, but because I would have been like very, very tired, right? I thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate you, each and every one of you. Let's get to streaming, shall we? We got 22 minutes. Yeah, we got 22 minutes before we have to start streaming, so I'm going to go take care of myself for a little bit, wake up a little bit. We're going to get to streaming. This stream is going to have a series of different things, including Blender, Gmod, and maybe a little bit of D&D world I've been creating so far. Yeah. Stay tuned.